A few weeks ago, our friends at Warframe hit us up and they said, guys, we've got TennoCon coming up this year and we want you to make some hero props. And we said, that sounds awesome. What do you want us to make? We want you to make the Lotus helmet. The Lotus helmet is arguably one of, if not the most recognizable prop from the entire game. If it's gonna be on display for thousands of people to see at the flagship convention for the game, it better be super, super good. Fortunately, we have a bunch of guys around here who are always working super, super hard, which is gonna make this...
Down a moment, we're trying to play.
Oh yeah, sorry. No pressure. We just need to make like the biggest thing from the game. It needs to be perfect, and we've got about 3 weeks to do it. Let's go. We brought in our friend Nat, who's helped us on Lifeline and a bunch of other things, fabrication-wise, creation-wise, design-wise, and you're gonna help us out here today to build what will be the hero props. The best thing about this process, we're gonna be using accessible resources like 3D printers, soldering, things you can do DIY. So what are the two things that we're gonna have to build here?
First one is the Lotus helmet.
The Lotus helmet is basically like the Mickey Mouse ear equivalent of Warframe.
The second prop that we're going to be doing is a Void Relic, which is the game's system of getting items.
They gotta look exactly like what they look like in the game, and in addition, they need to light up how they look in the game, they need to be painted how they look in the game, and they need to be set on display. It only has to be perfect.
Only has to be absolutely pristine.
Yeah. First and foremost, we need to model the object. You can do this with any home PC and any 3D software.
When somebody's modeling something for a video game, they're not necessarily modeling something for real life. Geometry is different, everything needs to look really, really nice. You need to add details that are not in the low poly product into a high poly product. Fortunately, Warframe gave us models from their video games.
How many 3D printed parts do you think are in this entire build?
Actually, there's not many 3D printed parts. The reason being is because since the entire thing is 3D printed and it's like large scale, I had to use a large format 3D print. So the helmet itself is only 4 3D printed parts, like all kind of cobbled together. The spear is 12 and the other side goes together. Yeah, I had to model these and they're not like totally accurate, but they're pretty spot on.
Very cool.
Once we're done putting everything together, we're then gonna move on to smoothing everything. Now this is gonna be a process of getting rid of the little lines that appear when you 3D print something, and then basically prepping everything for paint.
An unfinished 3D model kind of looks like this. Now what you want to do is you want to make it look like this. Nice and smooth and shiny. So satisfying, but it takes a lot of work to get there. Here's how you do it. The first thing you have to do with your 3D model is if you have any pieces that you've kind of glued together, you need to cover those seams. I personally like to use wood filler. Plaster also works. The next thing you can do is you can use XTC 3D, which is the same thing that's being used for the Warframe helmet. It's basically a resin, or an epoxy if you will. You paint it over the entire surface and it's kind of viscous and like it'll pull itself together and kind of smooth out any details. It's not perfect, but it gives you a little bit more of a smooth base to start from.
I'm gonna use several other kind of liquids to microfill in like little parts where the print under extruded or jutted a little bit because of belt tension problems. It cures like super smooth too, so just smooth out all the surfaces. You know, it's just a huge time saver.
So before you can start sanding, you need to wait for the resin to cure. Now usually that's a 24 to 48 hour process, but when you're short on time, that can be the most stressful 24 hours of your life.
Why is that just like, it's like slightly sticky. What time is it? It needs to heat cure actually. I thought it would be totally dry, but it's a tiny bit sticky, which makes me think that if I run palm sander over, it's probably going to end up gummy. I think I'll try seeing if I can sand it. I think that if it's not cured by now, it's not going to be cured anymore tomorrow because it's been more than the cure time, so. Oof, it's fine. It's fine.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah, man, it's like slowly getting there. It's saw time.
All right. Go back down. Oh, I got it. Hold on. Stop.
I'm so sorry, Clint.
Hold on, almost out. Oh.
Okay. You're good.
Oh.
We're about to have to butter you up, boy.
Oh. That's probably the last time I'm doing that.
Yeah, so I thought I would be painting today, but my resin still isn't like setting up. But yeah, I got most of the helmet together and patched and everything. It's just time to really get going on filling in the little spots. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. It's not setting, but I'm not too worried about it.
So there's a way to speed it up, and that is to heat it up. But you have to be careful, because the way this plastic is printed is by heating it up. You heat it up too much, it's all gonna return to the form of meltiness.
I've thought about just like throwing it in the oven and like hoping that like the heat would kick it.
Is there any risk with that?
Not if I keep the temperature low. I don't know what else I can do. I feel like an idiot doing this. Set a timer for 15 minutes.
Now everything is coming along really, really nicely here. The helmet is curing, the Void Relic is coming along great, but pretty much after this point, the next thing to do is the LED lighting. Now let's talk about that for a second, because every model that I looked at online of the Lotus helmet and the Relic had these beautiful sort of alien-like lighting features. One thing that Nat is great at is doing these inlaid LED lighting techniques. She's even 3D printed little parts that are gonna be little stands inside of the builds. I really can't wait to see that come together because I think it's gonna look phenomenal. And for the people at the convention who are sitting there and looking at it, that's just gonna help it make it feel so much more real.
When props are sealed systems, you have to be able to remotely access their software or remotely control their lighting systems. So we're going to try to make it so people can connect to the prop via Bluetooth. The electronics inside are going to be tutorial level Adafruit / Arduino style LEDs. Really easy, really straightforward, and you could probably learn at home in less than a day. I wired up the LED array that I had building, that little tree. It's wired into this Bluefruit, which is a little Arduino, and then coming out of there, it goes into the battery pack. Show you how it works. Hey, Bluetooth, what color do I want it to be? I want it to be blue.
Whoa.
So I'm like, hey, I want it to be red. This never ceases to like entertain me too. Like I always think that this is like the most fun part, just like making it dynamically work. It's probably gonna be like bright white the entire time, but like,
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know if Nat was like, oh!
Natalie!
What's up? What's up, dude? This thing's, how bad did it go?
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh no!
oh fuck,
This
man.
whole thing is fucked.
Oh no.
Okay, so it's emergency time.
What happened?
Dude, it smells like
I just wanted to kick it.
Smells like.
We gotta open this window.
Oh no.
it's like s'more, dude.
What do we do?
Guys, can you close that oven?
That was bad. That was real bad. It's like a melted marshmallow. It's like so.
It's like completely.
We're all poisoned now.
I can taste the plastic. Can't be good. Can't be good to breathe that.
It's not that big of a deal.
We have 5 years.
We gotta trim up all the topsoil inside our studio now.
I've been working on this for so long. I know.
So sorry, Natalie.
The oven, dude, that's such a janky oven. She like didn't know that it was janky. It must have kicked it up to about 600 degrees right away. It was only in there for 2 minutes.
That was 2 weeks of printing.
And when's this thing due?
3 weeks.
It got real hot in there real fast, and there's the timer for it to be done.
Yeah. We can talk to MatterHackers. They've got a lot of printers. We can have that done in a day.
Yep.
We gotta call MatterHackers and hope that they're down to help us. We need to print farm this thing back to reality. Hopefully we get the prints on Friday and we can put the whole thing back together, and then we're at where we're at the end of the day on Monday, hopefully.
We are on the way to MatterHackers, the headquarters in Irvine, California, which is about an hour away. They are the 3D printing professionals. You know, they got a print farm, they got all the supplies you need, and we have 4 major pieces. We just got the word, the prints are complete. We're gonna head on in and see what they printed for us.
We are a digital fabrication, call us Suez Superstore. It's a place you can go. You can get filament, printers, CNCs, laser cutters, all the different materials you need for these things. We have a lot of how-to guides, a lot of articles, videos.
Boom.
So I had to cut it up into like 8
so
different pieces instead of the 4 that you had.
Yeah, the originally 4, we cut it down to half of those each. So how many different printers are working on this thing?
I think at once I was using 5 different printers. One was the Sigmax, the BCN Sigmax, so I was able to do the duplication. Print these at the same time as 2 tool heads. They mimic each other, and so we could get this all at once instead of having to do one and then the other. But the rest of these parts were spread across 3 or 4 different printers to get all these pieces done in the time span you needed.
Wow, so you're literally saving our butts
tier.
We're glad that we could help with this one.
Got my bag full of pieces. Now it's gonna be up to Natalie to take these pieces and put the work in to catch up and then get right back on schedule because we gotta deliver this thing to Canada in like a week and a half. There's a lot of work still to be done, so let's head back to the studio and get Natalie right on it.
Okay, I'm pretty sure most of the printing got solved over the weekend, so I'm just going to put it all together and start over from scratch. So it took a little bit of time, but I patched the areas in between on the helmet. Anywhere there's a little bit of a crack, I'm gonna let that cure overnight, probably use a resin tomorrow, and cut out the bottom again like I did last time. Okay, so we're on day 11. We're back on track, and I'm genuinely happy that this is going to be delivered on time, and I'm kind of excited to see how this looks when I'm finally done painting it and smoothing it out. I'm really genuinely surprised just how fast we were able to knock this out and with what quality. Oh. This looks like it happened fast, but this is actually what I've been putting a large amount of my time into because it's way more time intensive. All the batteries and everything are all just sealed up in there. It has little boot up sequence, so it kind of looks like layered rock almost. Like it looks like
It looks pretty sweet, just like that.
It looks like sandstone almost. It's definitely too dark. I need to lighten it up and then do some weathering to make it look like it was actually in dirt.
So it looks like we're pretty much back on track from previous meltdown to now. How much time realistically do we have before we have to ship this thing?
Keeping in mind we're shipping it to Canada. There's a customs situation, and yeah, we want to get to the Tenno convention next week, Thursday.
Okay, so 3 days. Let's see, Nat's been coming in every night. That means we have to do the curing, the painting, and the LED inlays on the helmet between now and then. Now the relic's already done. That's cutting it pretty close, don't you think?
It's tight. Thursday's when we need to get it out, so.
All right, sounds like we've got a couple all-nighters in front of us.
Convention ain't getting rescheduled, so.
Fingers crossed, man. We'll get it done.
Okay, we're on the last night, the all-nighter of the 3 weeks I've been coming here every night, and I am exhausted. Overall, I think that this is going to turn out great. I'm expecting it to get it done tonight. This is definitely one of the more complex things I've ever built. It's been a good experience coming here during normal hours and after hours and just making it happen. The only takeaway that I keep getting is it's okay to fail as long as you have an environment where people allow you to and forgive you and make sure that you succeed in the next time you attempt it. It sucks doing things over again. It sucks doing things that you've done before, but it goes faster the second time. The fact that I can get out of here at like 3 a.m. and not have to pull an all-nighter technically is pretty cool. Okay.
So Natalie texted me last night at like 6 a.m. Said everything's finished and everything's upstairs to look at, so show Nico and Jake. I mean, if everything's good to go, it's gotta get over to Canada for TennoCon, which is next weekend.
Looks pretty good from here.
She's here till 6 a.m.?
Yeah, she sent me and Christian an image text. It said 6:30.
Wow.
This subtle painting inlay.
That's great.
Yeah. Do you have the light?
This battery.
Hey, look at that. Ooh, it's all lit, lighting up.
That's pretty cool. The detail, especially around this, you know, with
Yeah.
the paint detail and the texture detail. Look
guy.
at this little guy.
A soccer ball.
This one's actually really awesome. You just charge it with this, and then you just turn it on.
Wow. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then Christian can adjust the colors.
It's a pretty great paint job on here too. It's like a prop you'd see in like Disneyland on like the side of like a ride. Very complicated 3D print. A lot of concave surfaces. It actually looks like a mold, which is a high compliment for a 3D printed device.
I think they're gonna love it.
Yeah.
This is gonna look dope. The paint color's perfect, and I think it's gonna look great on the TennoCon floor.
Even though Natalie is probably, hopefully sleeping right now because she pulled an all-nighter, she's here in spirit setting this off with us.
Headed to FedEx to get this baby professionally packed and shipped to Canada for TennoCon. Hopefully makes it there in one piece.
If you are a fan of cosplay, Warframe, cool props and costumes and things like that, go check out TennoCon. It's this weekend, the 5th and 6th of July. You can still buy digital tickets on warframe.com. There's a link in the description below. If you happen to be at the show floor and you see the relic and the helmet that we made, please tag us in an Instagram photo of it so we get to see it in all its glory. All right, and as always, everyone, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. Have a good time. I love you.